Minute since we last kicked it. And by the way, just got in town, and I won't let cumulus clouds all in the sky.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Welcome to another Storytime Friday, where every single Friday I sit down here with you guys front and center and tell you a story of something that happened in my life that is kind of crazy, and I basically turn it into a teachable, tangible lesson so you guys can learn from my mistakes. I like to call it I did it so you don't have to. Before we get started with today's story time about how I got banned from Walmart for stealing, I'm gonna need you guys to go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you have not already. I'm gonna give you like 5 seconds to do it. So did you do it? Okay, good. Welcome to the Coda Crew family. Don't forget to also give this video a huge thumbs up. It really helps me out, you guys. It gets my videos out into the algorithm. The more that you engage with the video, the more that you comment, the more that you like, the more that you do anything at all. Even if you dislike it. Oh, they took the dislike button away because you guys are some hating ass bitches. No, so seriously, like, subscribe, turn your post notifications on. Follow my personal development podcast called Sis Let's Heal, available on all streaming platforms. Don't forget to follow your girl on social media. Links are always in the description box for your convenience. And let's get on with this ratchet story time. So I'm in the middle of doing my makeup because I was just filming a video for the daycare series, and you guys, like, I don't know what is wrong with me, but I have to like literally sit down and prepare. Like, I need to sit down and I need to prepare those videos, write outlines, write scripts, which I hate doing. I love coming on here and just being like transparent with you guys. I just like to look at my channel as a channel that you can cut down and you could sit, you could have a drink, a snack, wine, a juice box, a notepad or something, and just like chill and get out of your day for a little bit. Every story, like, I don't even script my podcast. Like, I sit down and I just get the microphone and I go, and that has always been the best way for me. But with those videos, there's so much detail that I'm gonna have to take like a weekend and just sit down and write scripts for like the 10 videos that I want to film and just do that. So we're gonna do a different video today, and the only one that I could think of off like the top of my head that I don't need preparation for is me getting banned from Walmart for stealing, because honestly it is like the funniest story ever, but at the same time it is literally so stupid. Okay, I already did my base, I already did my eyes and my eyebrows, but I still need like blush and highlight and eyeliner and lipstick, so we're gonna do like a half. I have no fucking words. How I got banned from Walmart. So let's talk about it. When I was younger in high school, I had this one friend, and we're just gonna call her Marissa. Me and Marissa were really good friends. We're on the same cheerleading team together. We went to the same high school together, and we over time developed a really close friendship and got really, really, really close. Now, so close to the point where I went with her and her family on vacation down the shore. If you grew up in New Jersey, you know all about like Seaside Heights, right? I was literally living in New Jersey, because if you guys don't know, if you're new, I lived in Connecticut, and then when I turned 13, I went to go to New Jersey to live with my mom and my new stepdad. So when I was in New Jersey and I would go down to Seaside Heights, that was when they were filming Jersey Shore. I remember I went to Danny's t-shirt shop. If you guys watch Jersey Shore, you know. If you don't watch Jersey Shore, what the fuck is wrong with you?
So try and talk to me, I'm mad. Pissed.
That show was amazing. It was the most like low budgeted but yet most amazing show at the same time. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Jersey Shore, you know what, look it up. I don't have fucking time. Anyways, I remember me and my friend Marissa went to Danny's t-shirt shop, and he was telling us, he was like, oh, by the way, starting tomorrow, I have a whole cast actually coming to my my apartment, which is in back of the shop, because if you guys don't know, the rooftop where they all chill and hang out at is not on top of the house. It's on top of the t-shirt shop, and then you go down the stairs, go across the little hallway, and then there's the house right there for Jersey Shore. So I remember when I went there, he was like, oh yeah, like you guys, because we were about to leave, right? The next day we were leaving, and he's like, oh, you guys should have stayed, because I have a whole cast coming here tomorrow, and they're going to be filming a show which basically like where they're taking, you know, 5 guys and 5 girls, and they're filming, you know, their day-to-day life. It's kind of going to be like a real world type thing, but he's like, you know, it's just, I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. I think it's only going to last like 1 season maybe. I haven't even like met the people yet. And me and my friend Marissa were like, Danny, shut the fuck up. Like, yeah, right. Like, we're not having no show. He thought he was kidding, you guys. We really thought he was kidding, because he was trying to convince us to stay an extra day, because he was like, you know, then you can come here and you can like maybe be on TV, because they're going to be filming in the shop. And we dead ass, you guys, thought that he was lying. Because if you don't know Danny personally, if you haven't like met him in person, he's very like charismatic and funny and like joking. So we thought that he was just like trying to bullshit us, but he was being so freaking serious, you guys. And I wish we would have stayed an extra day, because my friend Rachel, who ended up going going down the shore ended up being on TV. She ended up being on TV. I remember me and Marissa were so mad about it. But anyway, neither here nor there. We went down the shore and we were having a good time. We were staying there for about a week and we were getting our tan on, going to all the different stores, going to the boardwalk, going on all the rides, and it was a lot of fun. Now, there was one day where we woke up and Marissa wanted to go get McDonald's breakfast, and I personally am not a breakfast type bitch, but she was telling me how they have like the best Powerade at McDonald's, and I was like, wait, I was like, hold on, like, doesn't all Powerade taste the same? And she's like, bitch, no, like the Powerade at McDonald's is literally like top tier. And I was like, okay, like I have to fucking try it. So we ended up going to McDonald's and we ended up getting some McDonald's breakfast, like some pancakes, some sausage, whatever, and this blue Powerade. And let me tell you, it did live up to the hype. It was very freaking good. So we get our shit and we ended up going back to the house, and her cousin ended up asking her, hey, do you and your friend want to come to Walmart with me? Because I need to go get some foundation because I ran out. And so we were like, hell yeah, like we're always down for a trip to Walmart. Now, let me tell you one thing about me and my friends. We were broke. We were broke with a capital B. We would go to the mall all the time, walk around, not buy a damn thing, not even a soda, not even a hot dog. The only thing that we would have in our stomachs were the little tiny sample cups that they would give in front of the counters. Do they still do that at the mall? Asking for a friend, because I could so go for a Wetzel pretzel sample right now. So we were broke. We didn't have no money. We had nothing. This was before we got jobs because we were still kind of like a little bit too young. People didn't want to hire us. They thought that we were delinquents, which we were. So we ended up going to Walmart, and I'm with my friend Marissa, and we're just like looking through all the clothing. We're looking at the makeup, and we're just like having a blast. Like, I don't know what it was back then, but I could window shop my ass off. I think it was because my mom like loved window shopping. My daughter could never. She thinks that we live on like Kim Kardashian money. She thinks that I could buy her whatever she wants. She thinks money literally grows on trees. Sis is expensive, but she's broke. So it's like so counterproductive. So I ended up walking around Marissa, and I noticed that Marissa is acting a little weird, and I'm kind of like, bitch, what are you doing? Like, she just is like walking around the makeup aisle. She's taking things, she's like examining them. Like, say this is the makeup that she's looking at, right? Trust me, she was not looking at no Fenty Beauty, but say she was. She's just kind of like this, and then she's like looking around a little bit, and I'm like, I didn't catch on to what she was doing. And then she looks at me and she's like, watch this, and she puts it like in her pants, like right here in her pants. And I was like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing? Because if you guys don't know, okay, I was definitely somebody where like I, you know, of course, like I lied to like my mom from time to time and like snuck out and went to a party, or I would, you know, like do like little things here and there, but I wasn't like a bad kid. Like, I never did any drugs. Still to this day haven't done any drugs. I've never like purposely tried to like hurt other people. I never stole. Like, I never did any of that because I was always so scared that I was going to get caught. And still to this day, like if I'm driving and there's a cop behind me, I'm like freaking out the whole fucking time as if I have a dead body in my back car. There was literally one time where I was driving with my friend John and Tori, and there was a cop behind us the whole time. And I was taking them back to their hotel, and he followed us the whole way there, and I was having an absolute panic attack. And my friend John was like, you're making me think that you have like a dead body in your trunk right now with the way you're acting. Like, calm the fuck down, pipe down, simmer down, take a seat. So I was always like extremely afraid of getting in trouble, so I'm kind of looking at her and I'm like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And she's like, just don't say anything. I do it literally all the time. And I'm like, what do you mean you do it all the time? And she's like, just watch, they're not gonna catch me. So me personally, I'm having a panic attack because I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna walk out of this Walmart, they're gonna know that she stole. Hold on a second, I cannot do wing liner and talk at the same time. Thinking in my mind, like, I'm about to be guilty by association. We're gonna walk out of here and they're gonna think that I did it. Like, I'm just freaking out internally, right? But lo and behold, we find fuck is that? Lo and behold, we find her cousin, and she ends up getting her foundation, and we end up checking out, and then we walk out the door and literally everything is fine. So we end up going back to the shore house that we were staying in, and I looked at her and I was like, do you really do that every time you go to the store? And she's like, well, not every time because I don't want to be obvious, but she's like, when we're back home, I steal all the time and nobody ever says shit. And I'm like, well, what do you steal? And she's like, oh, you know, just like makeup, or sometimes I'll basically steal like a shirt, or I'll steal this or that. And, you know, she's like, I never get caught. Like, it's literally so easy. Like, they don't care. And so basically over time, Marissa taught me like how to steal. She taught me how to do it, how to make sure that nobody was looking. She taught me how to like literally go into By the way, I know this is wrong. I was like a kid, okay? I'm reflecting now, and this is why I'm telling the story. That way, if you're watching and you ever think about stealing, you don't do it too. She taught me how to go into the changing room, and basically what you would do is, like, I would have a shirt on like this, right? And I would take some clothes with me into the dressing room. So I would take a pair of shorts and I would take a shirt. And the thing that I would want to steal, I would take off the hanger, put it into the shorts. That way on the cameras, it looks like I'm only carrying a pair of shorts and a shirt, but they don't see the extra purple shirt that's underneath. So you go into the dressing room and you like pretend to try stuff on, but what you actually do is you take the tags off of what you want to steal and you put the shirt on underneath the shirt that you're wearing, and then you just go and you put the shorts back and the extra shirt that you got, and then you leave. If you want to steal makeup, you basically just make sure that you take it out of the packaging and you dispose of it somewhere, and then you put it in your purse or you put it in your pocket. That way if they look into it, you could be like, I've been having this LA color triple eyeshadow palette, what the fuck are you talking about? So she taught me how to steal, okay? So this was like my like Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide stealing edition. So over time, because you know, like the thing is that me and my family didn't have money. We didn't have money. We didn't come from anything. We were always very short on stuff. We had like enough to put like food in the fridge and a roof over our head, but that was basically it. There was nothing extra to like go places or get like clothes or anything like that. So I kind of looked at this as like, oh shit, this is how I can start getting like a shirt, or I can get makeup if I want to. And I saw how easy it was. I remember the first time that I ever did it, it was with the purple shirt, and I did the trick that I just talked to you guys about. And I actually have a picture of me in this shirt at my friend Katie's party, which I'll put right here. And I remember I loved this shirt so much. So over the course of those next couple months, every once in a while, if I was out and me and Marissa were there, we would go and we would just, you know, go on a little 5-finger discount shopping spree. And it wasn't anything crazy, like, right? It would be like a shirt here or there, or like an LA girl color palette, or it would be like a pen, like something stupid, like a candy bar, right? Something fucking stupid that really was not that bad at all. But over time, I started to get a little more bold with it, and I started stealing things that were a little bit bigger, a little bit more expensive as you can get at Walmart, and I was just getting away with it, right? Now, nothing in my head told me, like, girl, don't you think that they're like looking at you through the cameras and that they're catching on, and that, you know, like someone's gonna see you, like you think no one's gonna see you steal at Walmart, like what the fuck is wrong with you? So anyway, over time, like I said, me and Marissa were part of the same cheering squad, and I remember that year had come and gone, and there was a new year, and so there was new girls that had come into the cheering squad. So I made friends with this other girl, we're just gonna call her Allison. So me and Allison ended up becoming super close. We actually looked alike. We had like the same color hair, we were the same height, and like our body types were kind of the same. So people used to always call us the twins all the time, right? And we would like call each other Twinny online and say like, oh, my twin, my twin. So we were like super duper close, and we became best friends, you guys, like literally best friends. Now, she was a couple years younger than me, and so because of that, there were some things that we couldn't relate to, but for the most part, me and Allison were super duper close. I would spend weekends at her house. I would sleep over. She would sleep over at my house. She would sleep over at my house so much to the point where my mom was like, does she have anywhere to go? Like, she's here all the time. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, I want her here, okay? Like, literally, when I tell you we were attached at the hip, she was over my house all the fucking time. So we were just doing our thing, you know, cheerleading, getting our lives together, going out on the weekends, hanging out with our friends. And there was one time where her mom actually came into town and she wanted to meet me. So me, her, and her mom had gone out to lunch, and then afterwards we were on our way home, and she was like, oh shoot, the Walmart is over here. Before I drop you guys off, I want to go in and I want to get a couple things, because the Walmart from our house, we lived in a small town. I lived in a town called Pompton Lakes, and it was 2.7 miles long. When I tell you, this town was so fucking small, you could spit and it would be the end of the town, like literally. So we had like a Wendy's, a Quiznos, a Frank's, an A&P, which is like what most people's like Stop and Shop or Food Lion or something like that is, or like Shoppers. And then that was basically it. If you wanted a McDonald's, a Target, a Walmart, anything like that, you had to travel at least like 20 minutes outside of town. So she was like, you know, because we're going all the way home, I want to stop here first and get a few things. And so I was like, oh shit, well, I'm about to go in and have me a shopping spree. And apparently my friend Allison had the same mindset too. Now, I didn't know that Allison was about that life, but when we had walked in, I was kind of looking around, and I was like looking at her, and I was like looking at the makeup, and I was like, I think I'm gonna take this. And she was like, oh, I'm already looking at the stuff that I want to take. And I'm like, wait, hold on, you're about that life? And she was like, yeah, girl, I do it all the time. So apparently just like everybody from my town had this idea in their mind of like, we're gonna go to Walmart, we're gonna steal, and then we're gonna head out. So every single week, me and Allison had this routine where we would go to cheering practice. Her mom would pick us up because her mom would come into town like once or twice a week, and we would go out to dinner, and then we would go to Walmart after, and we would have our little shopping spree. I remember this day literally like it was fucking yesterday. We end up going to cheering practice. Now, this cheering practice was going to be at night. After school. So it was going to be after school, and it was going to run a little bit later because we were getting ready for competition. So we do our usual where we go out to dinner and then we go to Walmart. And on this day specifically, I don't know what it was, but I was getting so much more bolder, you guys. I wanted to like take a perfume. I wanted to take makeup, clothes, candy. Like I was literally going in, okay? Like over time, I started to get like way more bold. I wasn't specifically bold enough to the point where I was like bawling out, but I was getting there. So when we went in there, I remember it was supposed to be my friend Ryan's birthday, and Allison wanted to go, and we wanted to like get him like a couple little things just to be like, hey, happy birthday. And I remember we went in there, she was like, oh, you know what, I actually need some like new folders for school. And I'm like, girl, how are you gonna steal folders? Like you gotta be a little bit like smarter when it comes to stealing. Like, oh my god, I'm not me on here trying to tell y'all how to do it.
Stop it. Get some help.
You cannot steal like folders, notebooks, backpacks, like things like that, because then you're just asking for it at that point. Why is my tweezer stuck to my eyelash? I hate when that happens. I'm like, girl, how are you gonna steal a whole ass folder? And she goes, oh, well, I'm actually gonna bring my purse in. And I was like, oh, okay, like that makes sense. Not thinking in my head, like, tell her not to fucking do it. But then when she says she's gonna bring her purse in, I'm like, oh shit, well then I'm gonna bring my drawstring backpack in that I use. Oh my god, if this gets stuck one more time, I'm gonna scream.
I'm gonna absolutely lose it.
I decided to bring in my drawstring backpack that I usually used at practice just to hold like my water bottle or hold my shoes. So I get my drawstring backpack and she gets her purse. Now we're walking into this Walmart in practice clothes. We have like beaters on like this. We have Sophie shorts, sneakers, and bags. Like, we're not wearing anything that makes us look like we're like criminals. We're literally coming in here like in practice clothes, right? Remember I said that. So we start going around the store and I'm just like, you know what? Well, shit, today I have a bag, because normally I didn't have a bag. I just would steal like a shirt or just like something like small and just like put it in my pocket or like put it in my pants or something. But I'm like, I have a bag, so bitch, I'm balling out. So we go into the aisle where there's all of the school supplies, so the folders, the notebooks, the pens, the pencils, the markers, the whiteboards, like things like that. And Allison starts picking out what she's going to get. Now when she's doing that, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, okay, when I'm done, I definitely know I want to go get some makeup. And you know what? While we're here, I think I want to freaking get a folder too. So I go to like look into it, but then I'm like, you know what? No, because this is going to be like way too obvious. Like this is not going to work. So I ended up putting it back. Okay. Now, once she gets her folder, I think she got like a folder, a notebook, and some pens. We go into the makeup aisle. And when we were in the makeup aisle, they had just moved the fragrance aisle right next to it. And at the time, I was obsessed with Juicy Couture. Okay. Juicy Couture was so like in back then. You know who I really love as an influencer? Her name is Jade Amber. She's like my comfort influencer, and she has like that old school Y2K Juicy Couture, like all pink type of like style, and I'm just like so fucking obsessed with it. It's so cute. She's so girly. I love her and her little prints. Like, I swear my room, okay, no, my room is haunted, but the door just shut because of the wind. So I was like literally obsessed with Juicy Couture, but at that time I couldn't like afford it, obviously, because it was kind of pricey. You guys know what I'm talking about, that like Juicy Couture perfume that everybody and their mother used to freaking wear. I wanted it so bad. And I was like, I bet that I could take this, because it's not like perfumes the way that they used to display them back in the day. They would just display them. There was no like security tag or anything like that on there. But as you know, the times got a little bit more modern, they started realizing like people are stealing like perfumes. Like now they have the Dove soaps that are like $10 behind those glass cases. Like who's gonna fucking steal that shit? Not me. So my face with some Urban Decay. I know what a good dupe for this is. Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. This is a dupe for the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. It actually worked. I'm gonna try this one too. I love it. I was like, I want a juicy perfume. So I took the juicy perfume, I took it out of the thing. We actually, oh my God, I just remember this. We went into the aisle that the supplies were and we got scissors, you guys. We got scissors and we cut open the juicy, because it was in like a plastic little like, encasing. We took the scissors and we cut that so we could take the perfume out. I remember I put that shit into my bag and then I went and I got some makeup and then I saw some Reese's and I was like, oh, I want these Reese's. So I took it, but instead of putting it in my bag, I opened it and I started fucking eating it, okay? Like a fucking idiot. So I started eating it and then I took the wrapper and I put it like on a ledge and I was like, oh, they'll never know. And then I took a couple of like the Reese's eggs because it was around Easter time and I put that shit into my purse. And then I took a couple more like little things. Like I think I took like a shirt and I took a couple of the like little like hair accessory like pins that you would put in, kind of like these right here, but they were like different colors and they were really cute. I took some of those. So I took probably like 6 things, right? This bitch, Allison, took so many things. She took perfume, makeup, folders, notebooks, clothes, like to the point where her bag was starting to get big and I kind of had to tell her like, Allison, you're making yourself really obvious right now. What we would do is we would go by the racks of clothes and we would pretend like we were looking in them, but really we would be cutting open like the things that we were going to take. We would cut open and take them out of the little like plastic containers and we would like put them into our purse. That way on the cameras they couldn't see what we were doing because your hands are inside the clothes, right? Trust me, I wasn't stupid. I was smart about it. We got caught because of Allison. So I told her, I was like, you're making yourself really noticeable because you keep going over to the clothing rack so you could put stuff in your purse, but also on top of it too, like a folder was literally sticking out of her purse, you guys. And I was like, I'm telling you right now, like something's gonna happen. And she was like, no, it's okay, I promise. Like she's like, I just want to look at one more thing and then we can go. And I was like, okay. So I have all my stuff and I'm ready to go. And I just get this really bad feeling, you guys, this really bad feeling in my gut. And I almost ended up taking all the shit out and putting it back because I got such a bad feeling. Now that I'm older and I like look back, it was my intuition trying to tell me like, girl, go put that shit back because you're about to get caught. But I didn't listen because I was a freaking stubborn ass millennial. So Allison was actually the day after this happened, she was supposed to go and get her braces off. So she was like, oh, you know what? I want to go see if I can find like a shirt because I want to be comfortable because I'm going to be getting my braces off. So we went into the aisle where they had like the white t-shirts, right? And she was like, okay, I just want this and I'm going to put it in my bag and we can go. And I was like, Allison, no, like your bag is literally like bursting at the seams. She goes and she's like, you know what? I'm not going to do it near you. I'm going to go to like one of the clothing aisles and do it. And I was like, you know what? Whatever, fine. So as she's going over there, I noticed this one lady that is standing near us and she's like middle-aged, I want to say. She's probably like 38, like 35, 38. And she has this blue sweatshirt on, blue jeans, Nike sneakers, and her hair is like really short. It's like a bob, right? And she doesn't have like any makeup on. She's like super plain Jane. But I noticed her and I don't know what it was, but she looked familiar to me. And I was like, where do I know this lady from? So I'm kind of in my head and I'm like racking around. I'm like, where do I know this lady? She looks super familiar. I feel like I've seen her around before. Where is she from? And then I start to realize that every aisle we would go into, I basically was seeing this lady. Now at the time, I didn't know that they used to hire people to dress as regular shoppers and follow people that they had suspicion of stealing. And like that was basically like their job at Walmart. So I noticed it and I was thinking and I'm like, where do I know like this lady from? Like, I don't know. And then I'm kind of backtracking and I'm like, a couple of the aisles that we've gone into, we've seen her. And I don't think anything of it. I think, oh, well, maybe she just is looking for the same things that we're looking for. Or maybe she's just like walking around having a good time. But I noticed that she's not carrying anything. She doesn't have any clothing in her hand, no makeup, nothing. But I do notice her. And I think that she sees me noticing her. And so she sees me and then she's like, quickly scurries away and goes into the next aisle. So by the time that I was like sitting there and kind of making this realization, Allison comes up to me and she's like, okay, let's go. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, you're ready. So we start booking it for the front door. We're walking like pretty like fast paced. And if you've ever stolen anything before, you know that adrenaline like rush feeling that comes when you're exiting the store knowing that you have like some stuff on you. It's just this like adrenaline like feeling and you're like super scared and you're super anxious, but then once you walk out the door, it's this super like exhilarating feeling that you like got away with something. Like if you've stolen, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying it's okay. It's super bad. I was dumb as hell. If I ever catch my daughter doing that, her life is just done. Like, ended up, like, the doors are the ones that like slide open, right? So we get like a little bit in between, like, say this is the door and we're right here, and I go to say to Allison, like, it's such a rush whenever we walk through these doors, and I go to say that, right? I was like, it's such a rush. And I go to finish my sentence, and all of a sudden, I hear somebody yell like,
stop, 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 stop them, stop right there.
And I turn around, and there's an arm on me, and I look up, and it's the same fucking lady that I was trying to think in my mind of where I knew her from and why she looks so familiar. And it's a man, and he's like definitely in his 60s. His hair is all gray. You could tell he's like somebody's grandpa, and he grabs my friend Allison's arm, and I'm like, what is going on? And they were like,
You two need to come with us because we know that you stole. We know that you have things in your bag, and you need to come to the office right now.
And so they literally like grab our arms and they start pulling us towards the office, which is just like this little door like right at the front of freaking Walmart, right? And I'm looking around and everybody is fucking staring at us, you guys. Like, everybody is literally staring at us. And it was the most embarrassing, mortifying, like soul-crushing feeling in the whole entire world, because I knew that once I walked through those doors that my life was over. I knew my mom was gonna beat my ass, my mom was gonna disown me, she was gonna throw me out the house. Like, my mom did not play. My mom was very like disciplinary because she always wanted me to like be a good person. Like, she really always wanted me to do the right thing, be a good person. So when I would do things wrong, because she wanted me to understand the, you know, the wrongdoing behind it and to not do it again, she would punish me. Like, it makes sense, you know what I mean? Because trust and believe that when I would get punished for things, I would never do them again. So like, it worked, but I just knew that her style of punishment was like a little harsher than what my friends got. Because also the thing is too, is I was the only friend out of all of my friends that like had a curfew, had to be home at a certain time, had rules, had regulations, and my other friends were able to like run free, you know, be out to whatever they wanted to, do whatever they want, go wherever they want, go to parties and things like that. And now that I look back, I'm so grateful that my mother had these rules and restrictions on me, because I was raised good. Like, even though of course I come here and I talk about like my childhood and things that happened, my mom did like the best possible job to mold me into a good person. Like, she really wanted me to be raised with rules and morals and ethics and things like that. So when I would do things like, you know, this, like, it would severely disappoint her. And I wasn't like a bad kid. I would go to parties, like I would do little things like that, but I wasn't like a bad kid. Like, I didn't steal, I didn't do any drugs, I didn't mess with anybody. Like, I was a good kid. So I knew that when they called my mom to tell her what happened, that I was gonna get my ass beat. So we walk through these doors, and it's this like room that is like in any store, like a Walmart or Stop and Shop or anything, and that's like a mall. That's where you go and bring the people who have stolen merchandise, and there's just like cameras everywhere. Like, I remember I looked at the screen and there was just angles of cameras absolutely everywhere, to the point if you're sitting there and you're watching, like, you can literally catch somebody stealing in like 0.25 seconds. But I just go and I sit down, and I just was so fucking nervous that I instantly started crying. I instantly started hysterically crying because I knew my life was over. And the lady who had caught us was such a bitch. And you know, like, rightfully so, because we were two little delinquents running around stealing, but she was such, like, she was so mean about it. So the guy that originally brought us in ended up leaving, and it was just me and it was my friend Allison and it was this lady, okay? And she was like yelling at us, and she's like, what is wrong with you? Why would you steal from us? You need to dump out your bag right now, and I'm counting everything in your bag of stolen merchandise from my store. And I'm just like in my head, like, girl, you don't own Walmart. You don't own Walmart. Like, you, like, relax. She definitely was one of those people that took her job like a little too freaking seriously. Work somewhere and you have like that one coworker who thinks that they're like the director or like the manager. You could tell that she was trying to get a raise. She looks at us and she goes, dump out your bag right now. I want everything dumped out of here right now. I'm gonna go through every single item that is in your bag. I'm gonna take a calculator. I'm gonna calculate what it costs plus what the tax would be, which wasn't fair, but whatever. Plus what the tax would be. And if the merchandise that you stole in your bag is over $100, you're going to jail in handcuffs tonight. And she was serious, you guys. Coming from me, somebody who to this day, if I get followed by a cop is having a panic attack, I was in full fucking meltdown mode, you guys. I was hysterically crying. I was hysterically crying, and I didn't know what to do. So we go and we start dumping out our bags. And like I said, I'm hysterically crying. Allison over here, like, still to this day, I wanted to smack her so bad because she was being so rude. Like, we went in there and she was like, why would you guys steal? And she's like, I don't know, it just seemed like fun. Or she would be like, why did you guys do this? And she's like, I don't know why I did it. Like, she would like talk back, and she would be very much so like, when it's like when you're getting scolded by a parent, you know to sit there and just shut the fuck up. She didn't know how to do that. She was like talking back, and I literally looked at her and I was like,
Allison, shut up.
you know that friend you gotta hit and you gotta be like, girl, shut up, you're making it worse. She was telling us to dump out her bag. She was basically saying, you're gonna dump out your bag and I'm gonna count my merchandise and what's in there, and if it's over $100, you're going to jail. She's like, take your merchandise out of my bag right now. And Allison was like,
what do you mean your merchandise?
and I was like, Allison, she means like the stuff, like the perfumes that we took, the folders, like, and she's like,
well, it's not her merchandise.
and I'm like, Allison, just dump it out your damn bag so she can count it. Like, she was making it so much worse for herself. I think in Allison's mind, she thought this lady was bluffing, and she thought that she was basically just gonna like look through our stuff, you know, calculate it, take it back, and then like give us a warning or something like that. But I knew that that was not happening, that we were gonna get in some serious fucking trouble. Let me also remind you, Allison's mom is still in the parking lot because she dropped us off so we could come inside and get our shit, and then she was just gonna chill in the parking lot and like talk on the phone with her boyfriend or something, and she had to be home by a certain time, okay? So she's probably sitting there like, what the hell are these girls doing? What's going on, right? So I start to dump out my bag, and I'm dumping out my bag, and I'm like hysterically crying, and I'm just like, oh my god, my mom is literally gonna kill me, my mom's gonna kill me, my mom's gonna fucking kill me. So she goes and she starts calculating Allison's stuff, okay? And Allison's stuff came out to $250.
If 2 plus 2 is 4, right? And 5 plus 5 is 10, okay. What the fuck is this?
And this was not during the time of inflation, okay? This was back in the day. To steal enough to the point where your balance is $250 from Walmart, you had to have had a lot of shit. She basically goes on to tell us, she's like, we knew from the moment that you walked in that you guys were gonna steal stuff because you guys just looked like people that were coming in to steal. You have sneakers on, you have a backpack, you have a bag over there. Like, we had our eye on you from the moment that you walked in. We knew what you were gonna do. And then she pulls out of her pocket a Reese's wrapper, and she's like, I saw you eating this and putting it over there. That's when I started to follow you guys. Like, she literally was following us from the moment we walked in. This is why I told you guys to hold on to that thought when I was telling you how we were coming in like cheerleading practice clothes, like, you know, shirts, shorts, sneakers, and like we're two like little girls just like walking in. So the fact that they looked at us and really thought that we were like criminals, I was like, are you okay? So I guess her and the guy were following us all around the store, and they were taking note of everything that we were taking, and they were just waiting for us to leave so they could hunt us down at the door. So she calculates her total and it's $250, and so she gets on the phone right away and calls a police officer there. Guys, I'm not joking. She literally gets on the phone right a fucking way and calls for the cops to come. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my fucking god, like, I'm next, because if her shit was $250, like, what if mine is like $100? Like, I'm fucked. Still to this day, talking about it, I get like the worst feeling in my stomach, because when I tell you guys, I was so fucking scared. I was so scared, and she was not being like, she was not letting off at all. Like, I was hysterically crying, and she just was like, she just didn't like not give a shit. So we were taking out all of our stuff, and she goes and she starts calculating mine, and she calculates it, but she doesn't say the total. She only says Allison's total. And so as she's doing that, she's like, I need the phone number to both of your parents right now. Tell me why. I want to just like smack myself in the face sometimes when I talk about this. My dad was not in my life for many years. I had moved from Connecticut to New Jersey when I was 13, and he was out of my life from 13 to basically 18. I think he got sober a couple years before I graduated, and he actually, you know, like got better. We would talk on the phone, and he'd send me like a birthday card or whatever. But at that time, my dad was still kind of like battling with his sobriety. Tell me why I began to text him, because we were not allowed to be on our phones either. She was like, you guys better not be on your phones, because the thing is too, is you could very easily like text somebody and be like, hey, like, I'm in trouble right now, can you please pretend to act like my parent on the phone, blah blah blah, right? So tell me why I began to text my dad and say, hey dad, it's Dakota, I know we haven't talked in a little bit and you've been busy, but I'm kind of in some trouble right now because I stole at Walmart, and I'm gonna give them your number for them to call you, and please just cover for me. Just please, like, don't say anything. I promise we can figure it out later, and just please don't tell mom. I was literally typing out that text, you guys. Like, I'm not even kidding. I start to call our parents. So first they call Allison's mom because she said, you know what, my mom is like literally in the parking lot. She's waiting for us to come out. Can you please just call her first? I just want to get this over with. So they call her mom, and it was a pretty short phone call. I'm not really sure what was said because I was too busy literally crying my eyes out. And then they get to me and they ask for my mom's number, and I just knew right in that moment that my life was over. I have given childbirth before, okay? I have given childbirth before where I almost literally like passed away mid giving birth to my daughter, have woke up the next day not knowing where my baby was, under anesthesia, okay? Like I literally have gone through the ringer, and I don't think I've ever been as terrified as I was in that moment, okay? I start just literally replaying every single scenario in my mind at that moment, and I'm like, Dakota, you are so fucking stupid. Like, why did you think you were gonna get away with this? You took it too far. Me and my friend would do this every week. It was like a routine. Of course they're gonna catch you after time. They're not stupid, right? Call my mother, and they don't have her like on speaker, but they just are talking to her on like a regular phone, and I hear them saying like, nope, no, there's no mistake, you know, your daughter is right here. My mom was like, there has to be some type of mistake. There's no way that you're talking about my daughter. Like literally, that's what she said. They called her and they told her everything, and that she needed to come and pick me up. And she was like, there must be some sort of mistake. There's no way. Like, no, there's no mistake, ma'am. She's right here. And so it was a quick phone call. They got off, and I just start shitting my pants because I'm like, when my mom gets here, my life is over. Say goodbye to my phone. Say goodbye to my computer. Say goodbye to my friends. I probably will wake up, go to school, go to practice, and come home. That's gonna be it. Like I'm not gonna see the light of day for literally 5 years. As our parents are on the way, Allison's mom walks inside, and she just was like,
what the fuck were you guys thinking? What is wrong with you? Why would you do this? Like, you can't be doing things like this.
And as she's kind of like going off on us, you know, we're sitting there, I think it starts to hit Allison about what's happening, and she's like, oh shit, this is really happening. And I understand that because some people process things just differently. And so she looks at me and she's like, your mom is never gonna let you see me again. And I was like, what? And she's like, your mom's never gonna let you hang out with me again. Like, I already know it. I know your mom, and she's never gonna let you hang out with me. And I was like, girl, you about to get arrested. Don't even worry about that. Like, don't even worry about that. We can talk about that later. The cops come in, and it's 2 cops. And I, at this point, if I was hysterical before, I am hysterical with a capital H now, because I am just hysterically crying, and I'm so nervous because I think I'm getting arrested too. Go to her, and they're like, all right, miss, you need to come with me. We have a cop car waiting for you outside. And they look at her mom, and they're like, you can follow us to the police station. We're going into the police station in this town right here. You could just follow us there. She'll be read her rights, and we will figure out what to do from there. And they're only talking to Allison. They're not talking to me. Oh my God. Am I not getting arrested? Like, not that that would save my ass, but that would be better than me getting arrested. Me not getting arrested would be a much less severe punishment than me getting arrested, because when you steal, that shit goes on your record for 10 years, okay? Every single job you go to, every single interview, every background check for an apartment, for anything. You steal and you get caught, like, and you get arrested for it, that shit does go on your record. So keep that in mind. Do not be stupid. Do not steal. It is not right. It is not morally okay. That energy will come back to you like a boomerang. It's just not worth it. Just don't steal. If you don't have the money for it, you don't have the money, girl. So they take her and they arrest her, and I'm just sitting there, and they shut the door, and nobody's saying anything to me. Nobody's like talking to me. Nobody's saying anything. We're just sitting there in complete silence. My mom gets there, and she comes in and she looks at me, and she just is so disappointed. And honestly, I think worst thing that a parent can say to you is not I'm mad at you, not I'm upset, not you're a piece of shit, but I'm disappointed. That hits different and hits harder than anything that anybody has ever told me in their life, that they're disappointed. I'm just like, oh my God. It makes me feel like crap, right? She comes in and she just looks at me and she's like, Dakota, I'm so disappointed in you. I cannot believe. She's like, I didn't even believe her when she called me and said that you were here for stealing. Like, what is wrong with you? So lady talks to her and she goes, listen, I can tell that your daughter clearly is displaying a huge indication of remorse, empathy, compassion. Like, I could tell this lady went from being a complete bitch to being like so nice, like Mother Teresa. She was like, I can genuinely tell that from, you know, her display of emotion that she really does feel sorry. And she's like, you know, I don't think she's a bad kid. I don't think that she did this because she wanted to. I think that she's just young and she's making a mistake. But she's like, I literally put hundreds of people in this room per day, and I could tell that by looking at your daughter that she is not a criminal, she is not a stealer. Like, she is displaying such empathy and remorse right now. So we are not going to arrest her. We're not going to have anything put on her record, not even going to do anything. We're just going to allow you to take her home and we're going to call it a day. However, she can't come here for the next like couple of months because there has to be some type of repercussion, right? And my mom was like, thank you so much. I sincerely like really appreciate that. Mom, you know, definitely vouched for me. She's like, you know what, like, I'm not saying that she's right, but we are having a hard time financially right now, and like I do understand where she's coming from, but however, this is not in her character. This is not anything that she would ever do. Like, I'm not excusing it, but she is right. You know, we are having a little bit of problems like financially at the moment. And I think the woman kind of felt like bad for us because we started to talk a little bit about like my, you know, dad and his lack of presence and like all of that stuff, right? So she basically was like, you know what, I'm gonna let you off with a warning, but if I do catch you ever again stealing as much as like a piece of air, like, you are literally going to jail. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I just thanked her profusely, up and down, up and down, up and down. And I was like, thank you so freaking much. So we end up going home that night. My mom takes away my whole entire life, you know, as per usual. I'm basically only allowed to like go to cheering, go to school, and that's basically it. But she did let me off a little bit easy. Like, she only did that for a week, and then she was like, okay, like, I'm gonna let you slowly start to like, there would be like little events. Sometimes if we had a night game, they would have like little like fires at the field after, and it was like a school event. It wasn't like a party, but I was afraid I wasn't gonna be allowed to go to that or homecoming. And then my mom allowed me to go to homecoming. What I mean by homecoming is not homecoming like at like the dance, but they have a homecoming fire and like event at the like football field, and that was gonna be after the game that night. And I was so afraid, no, before the game that night, and I was so afraid I wasn't gonna be able to go, but she did allow me to go. And I think my mom knew that like I didn't do it because I'm like a horrible person. I did it because like I just wanted stuff, you know what I mean? And I feel like everybody in their life has stolen at least once or twice before, but it is like literally so not okay. If I could go back in time, that is one thing that I would change, because it's not right to steal. It is so bad. You are literally inflicting your own karma onto yourself. It's not morally right. It's not okay. And there's never an excuse for it. And I just wish so much that I did not do it. My friend Allison actually did get charged. Like, she went to the police station. They didn't like put her behind bars, but she did have to go in the back of the police car. She went to the police station. They read her rights, and she basically got charged with stealing on her record for the next 10 to 15 years. What ended up happening was she had her dad pay like a huge fine to get the stealing record like off, like to get the stealing charge off of her record. That way it wouldn't be reflective, because we were in high school, like, you know, we were well on our way to high school, graduating, going to college, and like you can't have that stuff on your record. So her dad had to pay a huge fine in order to get that off of her record, and she was lucky that he was able to do that. Embarrassing thing in the whole entire world. And yeah, I definitely was not allowed to go to that Walmart for the next couple of months. They definitely had my picture up of like people to watch when they come in the freaking store, not like for everybody to see, but like in the office. And yeah, it was really embarrassing. It wasn't worth it. It was so stupid, and I wish I could go back in time and change it, because it was just not worth it at all, girl. Like, stealing is just not worth it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Because one of us goes in and we all go through it. No, but seriously, like, imagine someone coming to your house and like stealing all the food out of your fridge, and then you have to go and you have to pay for a whole new load of groceries. That's the same thing as when it comes to stealing. I know people think like, oh, but our government and our society, they steal from us all the time, so why not pay it back? But it's like, that's not right, and two wrongs do not make a right, and it is just not worth it. It's not worth it to even steal a fucking candy bar, man. I'm not even gonna tell that story, but somebody that my mom knows stole from a Walmart that they worked at, bitch. They worked at, and they stole like stupid things like croissants, Snickers, things like that. And they literally got arrested at work. At work, bitch. Like, they don't play around. Please learn from my mistakes. After this, mine and Allison's friendship kind of did dwindle down. It had nothing to do with the stealing or anything like that. We still would hang out, but over time we kind of just drifted. She ended up kind of getting a boyfriend. I ended up probably not getting a boyfriend because I looked crazy. She sees this girl, wish you the best, it looks like you're doing great and you're thriving, and I'm happy for you. So funny, because I dead ass got away with it. Not got away, but like I didn't get any like permanent repercussions for it, because I was crying so much. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. So I guess when Allison had gone to jail, or like the jailhouse, whatever the fuck it was, the officer there, I guess, was talking about me. The one who had like arrested her was talking about me, saying, I don't think I've ever seen somebody cry so much in that Walmart office in my whole entire life. That girl just kept crying. He was talking shit about me, crying, because I was afraid that I was going to get arrested. He was talking about me. I just don't have good luck with cops, apparently. They make fun of me. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me for today's Storytime Friday. If you like this video, which I'm sure you did, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button. It's free. Join the Coda Crew family and turn your post notifications on by clicking that bell icon in the corner. That way you're always notified when your girl posts on YouTube, period. So my personal development podcast is called Sis Let's Heal. I've been getting a lot of attention on there thanks to TikTok. While you're at it, also follow me on my TikTok, on my Instagram, on my Twitter, on my Snapchat, if any of you even use Snapchat. Today's post notification shout out goes to Victoria Sanders. That I absolutely love your hair. It's super cute and fits you. By the way, you've been such an inspiration to me. You're definitely my hype girl. Wish you live closer to me. Next video, if you can you give me a shout out? I tell all my girlfriends about you and your channel and love your podcast. I listen all the time. Victoria Sanders, thank you so much for commenting on my video. Of course, I can shout you out, girl. It's because of subscribers like you that I'm able to sit here and continue to do this every single day as my job, but also my passion. As you guys know, I would not and could not do this without all of your support. You guys have literally gotten me to where I am today, from 0 subscribers to 22,000 subscribers, and I just will always be indebted to you guys and appreciate you guys. So thank you so much, Victoria. If you want to be on the next video shout out, all you have to do is comment something down below, have your post notifications turned out, and you might be featured on the next video. Guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Isn't an option due to unusual rain and thunder. Baby, I wonder